Maladjusted Misfits.
Hello, I'm Adam.
And I'm Joe.
Hey, Joe, take a look through this telescope. Doesn't our neighbor look like Ingrid Bergman?
That's not a telescope. That's the TV. You're just watching Casablanca. Turn it off.
We're the Maladjusted Misfits.
And this is the one where we talk about friends.
Inappropriate.
Hello.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Today we're sick.
Yep. Sorry. I already got it. Yeah.
I'll try and cut out as many sniffles and coughs as I can.
So you jinxed us because last week you said that the girl kid was sick and the boy kid was sick and that we had avoided getting sick, but we'll probably get sick, and then we got sick.
Yeah, I don't know how I jinxed us.
Because you told us we were
pretty
probably going to get
certainty that we were going to get sick.
It's not COVID. It's just a cold.
Just a cold. We
Yeah.
have snuffles and sniffles.
And it's really, really cold here, so it's lingering.
Other than that, episode 20.
I know. I can't believe it. We're getting close. 4 more till the end of the season.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I know. And this week's episode is called...
The one with the Evil Orthodontist. Aren't they all evil? I thought.
Yeah, I thought so. So what's our IMDb plot?
So it's Rachel and Barry start dating again, despite the fact that he's now engaged to Mindy, and Chandler goes nuts when a woman he likes won't return his phone calls.
That's a funny little side story going on. I
Yes.
like it. So this
And then we have a peeper
sorry.
across the street
Yes,
as well. That's
they
not
didn't
mentioned
include
in the-
that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just a C plot.
So this week's director is Peter Boners from last week.
Boners!
So he was our director last week. We already said he's an actor.
Yes.
And recently, he did the voice of the maestro in Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Aw,
I know.
Marcel is so cute.
He is cute.
The Marcel the Shell, Marcel the monkey's cute, I guess. but-
Right. If we have to. This week's episode writer is Daddy Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot about her on IMDb.
Okay.
Just that she wrote 9 episodes of Friends. 1 episode each season, except season 4. Isn't that funny?
So she wrote...
She wrote 1 episode each season.
Except for season
except
4.
for season 4.
Huh.
And then she also wrote 1 episode of Joey, the TV show.
Oh, maybe that's why she did a Joey to make it an even 10.
Yeah. And what was the original air date?
So our original air date was April 6th, 1995.
Okay.
And so we've tried to pull little tidbits from the days, and there's nothing on that day.
Really?
Yeah.
It was a
And
boring
the best
day.
song was the best song like Madonna song I mentioned
Okay.
a couple weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to do the number 1 and number 2 movies.
Okay.
So the number 1 movie at the box office was Bad Boys.
Okay.
The Will Smith
Will Smith
and Martin Lawrence.
yes.
I'm not sure if Martin Lawrence ever got slapped. And then the number 2 movie was Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy. What did you do? That was a funny movie. Rest in peace. What's his name? Chris Farley.
Chris Farley,
Yep.
yes.
All right. You ready for some trivia?
I am ready for some
All right.
trivia.
The young boy that visits Barry for the checkup
Yes.
is the same boy from the one with the sonogram at the end.
Yes. Bobby and Robbie.
Yes,
He
same
plays
actor.
2 characters. I
Right.
assume twins.
Right. In the one with the sonogram at the end, Rachel tells Mindy that she hopes any of your future children will have Mindy's old nose. And in this episode, Mindy is played by Jennifer Grey, who famously had a nose job earlier in her career.
She did.
I know. In the uncut DVD version of the episode, which we finally received,
Yes.
Amazon did not come through. So I went to my second favorite store, which is Target, and we were able to purchase the DVDs, and we watched it. Barry suggests to Mindy that they go back to Aruba.
Yes.
And Rachel asks Barry, what is it with you and Aruba? I mean, do you have like a deal with the airlines? Which I thought was a really funny line.
Yeah, he only likes to go to that one destination.
Yeah, that's the only place he goes.
We like to mix it up.
Yeah, we do.
We like to go different places.
Yeah, we like to travel. But it's limited when you have the girl kid and the boy kid.
Yeah.
And 3 dogs.
And a cat.
And a cat, that's right. All right, so last piece of trivia. Jennifer Grey played Jeannie Bueller in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right?
Yes, I believe I made reference to that in last episode.
Right. So 4 years before Friends, Jennifer Aniston played the role of Jeannie in the short-lived TV version of the film.
Oh.
The series only lasted 1 season, but they were both Jeannie and from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I thought that was really cool.
That is cool. That's interesting.
It is.
I'm not sure I was aware that there was a Ferris Bueller's TV show.
I did not know that either, but apparently there was. So.
Huh. All right. So what's your episode reaction? I want you to go first this week.
You asked me to go first and I didn't write anything.
Well, that's why I asked you to go
think
first.
I wrote it and it got erased because sometimes when I move my mouse or when I'm on my iPad, I accidentally erase things. But I like this episode. I like that it's not about Ross and Rachel.
Right.
I like the secondary storyline of Chandler and his magnificent date that he never goes on a second date with. Mm-hmm. I think it's really funny. They have some good one-liners. It was fun.
Right. Yeah. I like this one too. I'm going to say that it's kind of cringy funny.
Okay.
Like The Office.
Right.
It's a little bit uncomfortable. You know, there's people sleeping with people they shouldn't be sleeping with, and people spying on people, and people agreeing to things that only sitcom characters would ever agree to.
Okay.
Like being the maid of honor for
Yeah.
for the person that you left at the altar.
And then you slept with her fiance.
Right, the whole situation. I don't think I wouldn't recommend it to anybody in real life. And then Chandler also obsessing over somebody and then writing her off in a second. Is just peculiar and funny. He goes through the whole episode and then it's like, nah.
Yeah. I'm like, it's the best first date ever. Second date. Yeah, no. My favorite line is towards the end. It's when Rachel says, I hope that Barry doesn't kill you and eat you in Aruba. I just love it.
It sounds like one of my favorite lines. It sounds like something I would really like. I went with Ross this week.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yes. I went with, it's apples and oranges. It's orthodontists and lesbians.
That is a funny moment. All right. So my favorite moment is really funny. Adam filled it in before I even watched the episode and took my notes because I crack up every single time we watch it.
Yes, this is one of your, I don't know if it would be a top 10 moment.
Yeah.
It's a moment that you talk about quite a bit. It's one of your famous moments around the house.
Yes.
Everybody's aware of it, so I just went ahead and filled it in for you anyway.
So it's when Rachel's on the phone talking to Mindy, and she's walking around the coffee table, and everyone lifts their feet up. And then Chandler, when she goes around the second time, Chandler waves her back the other way.
He's like, nope, go back around.
No, I'm not picking my feet up.
Do you want to expand on that moment and why you like it so much?
Because I walk around constantly while I'm on the phone. I don't know what it is, but I can't sit still while I'm talking on the phone. I wander around the entire house. And Adam's always shooing me out of the room because usually I'm talking loud or I'm in his way. And the other thing that I do when I'm on the phone is clean.
Yeah.
I get a wet wipe or I get a dust cloth and I clean while I'm walking around on the phone.
Yeah. So my favorite moment was I kind of like when they're talking to the telescope Sydney across the street.
Right.
And she compliments Monica. And Monica's like, no.
That is a cute little face.
I like that cute. She's got a cute little R wave. Again, they dropped the whole pretense of being mad at this person. Mm-hmm. Chandler's laughing at her. I like the whole little moment.
It's cute. All right, favorite outfit. There's not a lot to choose from because it doesn't go over many days. It's just usually like I think it looks like 2 days.
Yeah, they're just two. Everybody's got two outfits.
Yeah,
that's about it.
So, I think I picked Joey's fisherman sweater, a la Chris Evans in Knives Out. He looks very cute in it. It's the white, thick fisherman's knot sweater, and so I went with that.
Okay, Joey outfit. I went with, again, it was kind of a hard week. Yeah. I didn't feel like anybody had anything super duper cute on, especially, you think Rachel would wear something cute this week.
Yeah, I know.
The storyline.
I hate that blouse she wears.
I don't know if I hate it, but anyway, I went with Phoebe. She's got a purple dress on and like boots, and she looks cute.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she ever really even stands up in it, but
oh really?
she looks cute in it.
All right. So themes we explored this week. Hypocrisy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, more than they let on, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of Rachel hypocrisy going on underneath the surface there.
Right. That we'll come back later and we'll be like, what?
Right. Theme 2, the dating ritual leaving messages.
Yes. Now you can just text.
Yes.
Which is a little bit easier than like leaving a voice message. Theme 3, infidelity.
Oh, yes. Theme 4, spying on your neighbors. If you aren't Jimmy Stewart with a broken leg, don't do it.
That's one of my favorite movies.
It is a very good movie. I don't know, New York with a telescope.
Yeah.
Just looking in people's windows.
That's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see how somebody would happen upon it and be like, this is kind of interesting. I kind of like it. But still creepy, though.
It is. All right, we're going to take a break before we break down the episode. Okay. I'm just going to ask you this once, and I want a straight answer.
Okay.
Will you be my maid of honor?
Of course!
Oh, that's so great!
Is that all you wanted to ask me?
That's all!
Yay! What?
That's not all!
Oh, sure it is!
No, it isn't. No, I think Barry's seeing someone in the city.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, we're back. So we're at the cold open in Monica and Rachel's apartment, and all 6 of them are there. And Chandler immediately says, I can't believe it. I'd much rather be Mr. Peanut than Mr. Salty. Oh, they're fun little arguments they get into.
I know, it's so funny. The weirdest things.
And Joey argues that Mr. Salty is a sailor, and therefore the toughest snack, which is how I base out my favorite snack. On if they can beat up every other snack. And Ross adds, you don't want to mess with corn nuts. They're crazy.
Have you ever had corn nuts?
No.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a really weird snack food. It's made of roasted or deep fried corn kernels.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's kind of like eating hard popcorn. It's really weird, but yeah.
No, never had corn nuts.
I remember them from the movie Heathers. Remember when she was
like,
oh, corn nuts.
Right. Yes. Yeah, but I was trying to think. I was like, he picked one that doesn't even have a mascot. That doesn't even...
Right? I know.
Doesn't even fit into the argument. Anyway, they leave the whole argument without resolution until later. And Monica points out that a creep with the telescope is watching them. He's staring right at them. It's so sick. Chandler feels violated and not in a good way. They question the morality of people doing such things. And then immediately Phoebe points out that ugly naked guy got gravity boots. And they all look. I think the scene may be about hypocrisy.
Which is our number 1 theme.
Yeah.
Hello, Kettle. This is Phoebe. You're black.
Anyways, so I think the Tootsie Pop Owl would outsmart all the other snack mascots.
Yes.
Joe?
I think Tony the Tiger could take them all. Or maybe the Kool-Aid Man.
He just busts and knocks them all out.
Right. All right, so then we go to our first scene in Central Perk. Everyone's there but Rachel. Chandler starts telling the gang that school children will study his date as one of the greatest dates of all time.
Right.
And I like first date stories.
You like our first date
I
story.
do. I mean, we talked in school, but our first official date was going to the movies. And your mom drove us. And it was at the mall. You remember malls?
Yeah. It was at the mall's no longer there.
No, it's not. And we saw the movie Joe versus the Volcano.
Very good first date movie.
Yes. And it was an awesome movie. And you were too shy to hold my hand, but you put your head on my shoulder, which was really cute. And then we walked around, and I tried to tell you a story, because we're on a date, and I'm trying to, tell you the story.
We're trying not to have any silences.
Yes. So I take you back to the day I was born to explain something that happened that morning. And then I said, funnily, to make a long story short, and you said...
Too late, which was a reflex from watching the movie Clue.
And I had no idea, because I had never seen Clue, because I had just met Adam, and so I didn't have the movie culture that I have now. So I was really pissed, and I got mad at you.
You did.
You got down on your knees. We were outside.
No,
at the
it's
mall.
a movie quote. I didn't mean anything by it. Really. Please, you got to forgive me. She wasn't looking at me.
So he got down on his knees. He clasped his hand. He closed his eyes. And he begged me to forgive him. And I looked at him. And then I kissed him. And the rest is history. 34 years later.
That's right.
I thought it was a fun story.
All because I watched Clue too many times.
And I had never seen it before. So, all right. So back to the friends. Even though Chandler had a great time, he didn't call her. And Joey tells him to let her dangle.
Right. Now, I never had to learn any of these dating rules because, again, as you just mentioned, we were in high school when we started dating.
Right.
I think that kind of took the pressure off because I saw you every day in school.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
we just talked
I
every
didn't
day.
have to play aloof or anything. It's like, hi, we're in class now.
I liked you. I thought I was too cool, and turns out that I was not too cool. So Monica laments that she can't believe she's being pressured to find one of you people. And Phoebe is sick of it and hands Chandler the phone, tells him to stop being all testosterone-y, which is the real San Francisco treat.
Right. I always pick that as that's a pretty good line.
It is a pretty funny one. And he calls and immediately hangs up because her leaf blower picked up.
Right. And I hate leaving messages too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it much better now that that your phone tells you who called.
Yep.
I don't have to leave a message, or I can text you if I
Yes.
feel like it,
Yeah.
but I don't have to play all right, what do I say?
So he doesn't leave a spontaneous message because the last spontaneous message he left included the phrase, "Yes, indeedio."
Right. And I do like in Friends, they point out occasionally you say those weird things
Right.
in those moments when you're flustered.
Right.
And you're always like, why the fuck did I say those words? That's weird.
Like whoopsie daisy.
Right.
All right, so Monica points out that Rachel and Barry have returned and tells them not to look. Ross whinily asks what they're doing, and Phoebe does a play-by-play. And then she yells, "Oh my God, don't do that!" And Ross freaks out, and she says the man across the street kicked a pigeon.
I don't think there was a pigeon. I think
Really?
she's just messing with Ross.
Oh my God. I saw her view change. She was looking at the door, and then she looked across the street. So, All right. So Rachel enters, and Chandler tries to play it off that they were not just staring at her. And he says, "And that's how a bill becomes a law."
Oh, and Ross has on a shirt that is so red it hurts my eyes. But then I also can see Aniston's nipples, so it evens out.
Oh my gosh. I do not like that blouse. Not for the nipples part, but the color, the cut is weird, and she wore it when they were on that date with George Clooney and Noah Wyle, and I didn't like it then either. Anyhow, Rach tells them that she had a really good time and tells them about having chicken Kiev at the Russian tea room, which they just mentioned in the last episode, which I
Right.
thought was funny.
Somebody just went to the Russian tea
Right.
room, apparently.
I looked it up. So the côtelette à la Kiev is herb butter stuffed breaded chicken breast served with Yukon mashed potatoes, a light mushroom sauce, and steamed baby vegetables. And It's $48 if you bought it today,
Oh,
regardless if you have it at dinner or at lunch.
I haven't had chicken Kiev in a few minutes.
I know. We used to have it all the time. And remember, I made homemade chicken Kiev that one time?
Right.
That was fun. It was an arduous process, but it was good.
Yeah.
Oh, and then he took her to Bendel's. So I looked up Bendel's.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
More looking up.
was established in 1895 as Henry Bendel, one of New York's elite department stores.
Ooh, elite department
Yeah,
stores.
but it sadly closed in 2019.
The 1% are suffering too, people.
And he bought her a bottle of Chanel. A 1.2 ounce bottle would cost $105 today.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not very much.
well, he gets a lot for it.
It's true. I agreed to it before I realized what you were saying. So then Ross asks about telling Barry to leave her alone, but she says it never came up organically. She said it was nice to see him again. It was familiar and comfortable. It was nice. That's nice twice.
Yes.
Monica says, isn't this the same Barry that you left at the altar?
Duh. Where have you been?
Joey is so funny. I love how they all turn and look at him, too. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And
Well, he's like, yes, it's the same Barry. Come on.
And Rachel says, it was different and fun, and asks if there's anything wrong with that. And Ross hits Chandler, and he says, yes! And she says, why? And this was almost my favorite line. I have my reasons.
And Ross rolls his eyes like he should have thought of something better in the time when he got hit.
So Mon reminds her that he is engaged to her ex-best friend, and she agrees she will go see him this afternoon and put an end to it. Smash cut to Evil Orthodontist lair.
Yes.
And Rachel and Barry are covered with the plasticky paper sheets. And she says, wow.
And they're naked underneath.
And they're naked, yes, for sure. It was never like that, was it? And he says, no, it wasn't.
Oh, boy. Rachel.
I know.
So then we're back at Monica and Rachel's. And Chandler's leaving Danielle his methodically prepped message. And he ends the message by playing with the little things in the bowl. And Monica informs us that Chandler has been practicing this for 2 hours.
Yes, 2 hours.
Now, I said I hate leaving messages. I don't hate it this much.
You didn't have to write out a script.
Right.
And then play with things in the bowl so it seemed like you were doing stuff. Yeah.
But he's been honing. Ross asks about the dishes, which I was wondering about too. I was like, it just sounds like you're playing at a bowl. I don't know.
And why didn't he do it the whole time if he wanted her to think that he was out? It's just the last minute he starts playing with stuff.
Right. He wants her to think he's out at a restaurant or something, not sitting around honing.
Yes.
You think he would have just said, can you guys talk in the background? And
Right. So it sounds like
since
I'm
they're
out.
all there, you know? And again, thank tech for texts
That's
now,
right, yeah.
because we don't have to mess with this problem that much anymore. Monica points out that the telescope man is back, and Phoebe waves him off, but he waves back instead. And Joey thinks they need to do something about this guy, because that morning he was looking in at his apartment. And it creeps him out. He feels like he can't do stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Not sexy stuff, like when I cook naked. Nothing that splatters toast or oatmeal. I was just surprised to hear Joey say he cooks.
You ever cook naked, Adam?
Yeah,
Maybe before we had kids.
let's see. 25 years ago, did I ever cook naked? I don't think so.
I think we went down to the kitchen naked for a couple things, but
Right.
we might not have cooked naked.
And I do like that they all look at Chandler, and he's like, what are you looking at me for?
I didn't know that.
I don't let him cook naked when I'm around.
Oh, that's funny. And then we're back at the Evil Orthodontist lair, Rachel and Barry.
Yes.
Rachel is getting dressed, and I cannot imagine that she would put that blouse back on without her bra.
Well, it's funny. The whole bra thing is funny because you can see her bra through the shirt.
Really? Well, you were
Yes.
looking, I wasn't.
Whatever.
Okay. So Rachel says it's not good, and Barry begs to differ and says she is way better than Mindy.
So, all that once a cheater, always a cheater BS later that is kind of judgy for somebody who had an affair with their ex prior to their newest wedding.
Right.
Plus, Barry may want to wait a little while till he proposes to somebody new.
Right. At least a year. It's only been 7 months.
Right. I mean, I like to think that now he's probably been married more times than Ross.
You think? Oh, that's right, because we find out that Mindy and Barry get a divorce later on.
Oh, do we find that out?
Yes.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah. I think Rachel reads it again.
They seem like a couple that's going to get divorced.
So Barry offers to break it off with Mindy. Really?
Nothing he says really surprises me.
I just find that really weird. And then Rachel says, no, don't do that for her. And then the intercom informs them that Bobby is there for his adjustment. Mm-hmm. And Barry wants to take her to Aruba again. He says when he went there for what would have been their honeymoon, she would have liked it. But didn't he take Mindy with him on the honeymoon?
Yes.
And so now he wants to take Rachel to there.
Right. And I bet Barry would like to take Rachel to the same room that he went with Mindy in, because he seems like that kind of weirdo. I don't know.
It's like the Ross takes Rachel to Greece when he marries Emily.
Right.
Is that a theme? I wonder which writer that happened to.
Right.
All right. So then Rachel looks for her bra, and Barry mimics throwing her bra to find it on the top of the cabinet.
Right. And you can clearly see the bra that she's wearing through her shirt.
And then Bobby, who's played by Christopher Miranda, walks right in as they're about to kiss, or while they're kissing. Mm-hmm. And he acts like he's checking her teeth. And they look at Bobby and he says, "What? I'm 12. I'm not stupid."
Right. He's like, "It smells like sex in here, you pervs."
Gross. That's nasty. Poor 12-year-old.
He's like, "Man, it's like my stepfather all over again."
It would have been funny if you said, "I hope you wipe that chair off."
I'm going to need to watch as one of the assistants comes in.
Yeah. All right, we're gross. Back
to
we're
gross. We're Grossersons. So we're back at Monica and Rachel's. Mm-hmm. Ross, Joey, Monica, and Phoebe. And Chandler rushes in asking to use their phone. Because we're back to the B plot.
Right.
Monica says, sure, but for future reference, the thing in your hand can be used as a phone. And Chandler calls his own phone and says, yes, it's working. Why hasn't she called? Chill, Winston. Jeez.
It's the same day.
It's the same day.
Yeah.
He was just talking about how he doesn't want to seem too needy. She probably doesn't want to seem too nerdy needy.
Nerdy needy?
I flubbed it. I might as well stick with it, right? Phoebe says he can call, and if there's lots of beeps, that means her machine still has a lot of messages on it, and she probably hasn't got to them. And if there's one thing I remember about answering machines, they all had the same features across the board.
Right. So if you called and the beep was really long, then you knew that there was a lot of messages.
No, what I'm saying is I think they were all really different. There's no way to know what machine she would have or how it would behave.
Do you notice that Phoebe always does that? Like, if you call in, you can see this, and if you don't...
Right. It's part of the bullshit that she just makes up as she's going along.
And I fell for it.
So, despite seeming desperate, needing pathetic, Chandler calls and then hangs up right away. How many beeps? She answered. Now he's needy and snubbed. So Rachel enters and they all ask how Barry took the breakup. And she says, pretty well. And Monica asks why she has dental floss in her hair.
Ugh, that's gross. And she has total sex hair. It's messy as hell. Her hair is very messy.
So Rachel whispers, and then Mon yells, "You had sex in his chair?" And Ross is immediately like, "You had what?"
Sex in his chair.
And I do love that Phoebe says it like that. It's just like, why are you mad? Why? Because they're oblivious. All the girls are oblivious that he likes Rachel still. Even though it couldn't be more painfully obvious.
Right.
Then Ross asks what you were thinking, which I understand because, I mean...
It's weird.
It's
yeah.
Barry, a guy she left at the altar.
Who's already engaged.
Right. The whole situation is just bad. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It is fun.
It's fun. I'm glad that it's happening to Rachel and not me. And Rachel explains that they still care about each other, and there's a history there, like you and Carol. No. And she goes, if Carol said, Ross, I want you on this couch right here, right now, what would you say?
I like how he pauses because he's thinking about it.
And Chandler's like, I'll offer to slide if it helps. And for one thing, it's weird because you guys are all in the room, okay?
Right.
But he goes, it's apples and oranges. It's orthodontists and lesbians. I gotta go. I don't need a reason. I have a jam-packed schedule. And again, he's so mad that you think they would be like,
Why
does
is
he
so
like
upset?
Rachel?
Yeah.
But no, none of them understand.
Right.
They just accept that Ross is just prone to bits of anger like this. So the phone rings and Chandler dives for it like Steve Rogers on a hand grenade.
Aw, I like Captain America.
I know you do. But it's a lady's telephone, and Rachel teases him and says, hello, with a smugness that soon fades as she realizes that it's Mindy. And Rachel talks to Mindy, and she does the little around the table thing.
Yeah.
And everybody pulls their legs up. And the second time around, Chandler doesn't move his legs. And he gives her a little hand gesture to go back. And Rachel's going to meet Mindy tomorrow.
Okay.
And Mindy sounded weird. And she immediately tries to call Barry.
I do like the part when she says, I better call Barry. And they all immediately pick their feet up.
Right, because she's going to start wandering around again. But Rachel goes, oh, hi. And it's Mindy answers because, she's at Barry's house. And she goes, oh, I figured that's where he'd be.
And I love Monica's face in this scene. When she says Mindy's name, she's got her jaw wide open like, oh my gosh.
She's like, you just got found out. She covers pretty quickly for Rachel.
Right. For Rachel. All right. Then we cut. It's a different day. Mm-hmm. Monica and Chandler. Or Monica and Rachel's apartment is Chandler and Monica. So Chandler's sitting at the table.
Wearing a sweater vest.
Yay, we have a sweater vest finally. All right. So he's waiting by the phone. And Monica, you laugh really hard at this one.
Yes.
Monica sneaks up behind him and makes a ringing noise, and he jumps and answers the phone.
Right. I think I should have probably made that my favorite moment.
Really?
Yeah, I probably should have changed that, but I didn't, so it doesn't matter.
It's all right. You can like 2 moments.
Nope, just one.
Just one. So he informs her that hell is filled with people like her. And Joey comes in to complain about the peeper again. Mm-hmm. And Rachel enters from her room, and he tells her to get down. And Chan says, get down and boogie. Yeah. So Rach ignores him and says she has to go to work and get her eyes scratched out by Mindy.
Oh.
Yeah. And we learn that she has been living with Monica for 7 months because she goes, come on, you guys. I haven't talked to her in 7 months. Mm-hmm. Because that is how long she has not heard from Mindy. She was her best friend. I thought Monica was her best friend. But
well,
anyhow.
no, Monica was the best friend that wasn't invited to the wedding.
Oh, that's right. That's right. After high school, they kind of stopped seeing each other.
Right.
Anyhow, they went to camp together, and she taught her how to kiss.
Ooh.
And Joey is intrigued. And Rachel is the other woman. Again, how come it's okay for her, but not for Ross? Never mind. We'll get to that. But Joey follows her out to get more deets on the kissing.
Mm-hmm. And I, too, feel let down that we're not getting more information about the teaching of kissing.
I didn't have a friend that taught me how to kiss. I don't know how I learned how to kiss, but I didn't have a friend that did it. So, anyhow, Chan says he has to pee, and he asks Monica to watch his phone because no one wants to hear you pee. So I need to give you a public service announcement. Do not talk on your cell phone in the bathroom. Number 1, it's gross. And number 2, nothing is that important. Nothing creeps me out more when I'm in the restroom and people are talking on their phone in the stall next to me. Oh. I actually try and make really loud noises because I want them to know they're in a really gross place on their phone.
I throw my shoes in the toilet, flush it a bunch of times.
I just think it's gross. All right. Anyway.
I'd have peed before the call.
Yeah.
She talks him into making the phone call. Just pee before.
Right.
How hard is it?
How long would it take you? Yeah. So Monica tells him to call her, and he says he has some pride, and then realizes he does not have any pride. Mm-hmm. So he hops up on the back of the chair.
Yeah.
And that's awkward and looks uncomfortable. But I do like how Monica puts a towel under his feet, and he calls.
I'm like, it's Chandler. How dirty can his shoes be?
Right. And she answers, and he tells her that he accidentally shut off his phone, and she says she's on the other line. And then Chandler hops up and does a little dance and says, on the other line, just call me back. On the other line, just call me back.
Don't you have to pee?
That's why I'm dancing. So we immediately cut to Central Perk. So I have 2 back-to-back scenes because they're pretty short. So
you don't have to explain
all right.
our methods to them.
You can cut it out if you want. So Mindy enters Central Perk. And they awkwardly greet each other, and Mindy tells her that they need to sit for this.
I don't know if this is an off-color topic or not. Mm-hmm. But the first couple times we saw this, 20 years ago or however long
Right.
it's been, I did not know this was Jennifer Grey.
Yeah, she looks very different.
I always thought she was adorable before she got a nose job. Mm-hmm. She looks very cute with the nose job. It's just funny how different
that makes
one little feature can make a person look.
That is crazy.
She looks like a completely different person.
Yeah, she does.
Maybe it's just me. I don't know.
No, I mean, a lot of people thought that. It was very controversial when she got it done. So, but Mindy tells her that she's her oldest friend, besides the girl who lost the weight and doesn't have a pretty face, which seems like a really snobby thing to say. But anyhow.
And also, I don't mean to pick on Jennifer, because, again, I think she's very good in this. Mm-hmm. I wish she would have come back, because I think the woman that plays Mindy later comes off weird.
Yeah.
But, remember how I said George Clooney seemed very relaxed?
Yeah.
She does not seem relaxed.
No.
She seems, given the situation that she's in, it's fine that she's a little bit nervous.
Right.
Talking to Rachel anyway, but she doesn't seem like relaxed. Like I said, George Clooney looked like he could have just sat down and watched TV.
So it's funny you should mention that, because I did recently read an interview. As we're doing this podcast, I read a lot of articles and I look stuff up. And so I looked up Jennifer Grey and to why she didn't come back,
Oh, okay.
And so they did call her and ask her to reprise her role as Mindy. And at the same time, she was also asked to host SNL. Oh. But she said she was so anxious doing that episode because it was live and they kept changing the script. So she was so nervous that she didn't want to go through that again. Oh. So she didn't come back. And she said now she wishes she would have gotten help for her anxiety and regrets not being able to do either. She was never asked to do SNL again either. So, yeah, that was sad.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry. Well, I feel bad.
So anyhow, Mindy asks if she'll be her maid of honor. And Rachel says, of course.
Oof.
Yeah, why?
Right. Just immediately, too.
Yeah.
Like, no, is this a good idea? I don't know.
So they hug and scream, and then Mindy starts crying and says she thinks Barry is cheating on her, and Rachel confesses.
Yeah.
And then Mindy says that she and Barry cheated on Rachel when they got engaged.
Right. So why?
Yeah. Why say that? No. And then ask to be your maid of honor?
Right. Why would you... Yeah, the whole situation, I have so many whys, like, that pop up. Like, my head is just, when we're watching the episode, like, why is she even asking her to be the maid of honor?
Right.
To a person that she stood up at the altar.
Right.
And they're best friends, and now she's saying that, we cheated together.
Yeah.
When you were going to get married. Yeah. Still be my maid of honor.
So weird. So weird. So Rachel confesses to being with Barry after she calls Mindy stupid. I like that part. Oh, Mindy, you are so stupid. And they both apologize to each other. This
Yeah.
is such a weird friendship.
Yes. Whatever.
And
they
then
haven't
they
spoken
hug.
for 7 months.
Yeah, and they hug, and then Joey walks in and enjoys the show,
Yeah.
and he does the infamous George Takei line,
Oh,
my.
So then we're at Monica and Rachel's. Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and Ross. And I do like that Chandler's still staring at the phone.
Yeah.
And they do a little funny setup where Ross is like, 4 letters, circle, hoop, ring, damn it, ring! Thanks. And then Joey enters asking Chandler if he knows that their phone isn't working. And Chandler's like, oh, it's turned off. I turned it off. And Monica points it out.
Just like he told her he did.
Yeah. Just pointing out the irony. So Joey got the peeper's name and is going to call Sydney Marks.
Yes.
And then Ross is like, heating device.
Radiator.
5 letters.
Rootator. Do you know the answer?
No.
I looked it up. It's a stove.
Ooh.
Yeah. I thought
Fancy.
that was... Yeah.
You and your word puzzles.
I know.
Joey finds out that Sydney is a woman, and they're like, so what? He's like, yeah, so what? I guess. And Joey says that he knows about her and her little telescope, and he can see her right now. Hello? You know, if I want to walk around in my underwear, thank you. That's not the point. Mostly free weights, but
Joey.
yeah, my neighbor, the brunette.
She pulls the charm like the upstairs neighbor in the later episode who's so charming every time someone goes to yell at him, remember?
Right.
Like she twists it around. Like, I'm peeping on you, but I'm going to be nice about
Right.
it.
And then he's like, she says you look very pretty in that green dress. You look like Ingrid Bergman.
I want to see the green dress. All I get is brown outfits.
No.
I do like Chandler's little smile when she's
Right.
excited about being complimented.
Right.
It's
That's
really
why
cute.
I said it's like the pair of them are cute in
Yeah.
that moment.
So, how come I get all the Evil Orthodontist layer episodes? Or scenes, sorry. All right, so we're back at the Evil Orthodontist lair,
Yes.
Barry, and the ladies come in together, Rachel and Mindy.
Right. I like that he's like, yeah, come in. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. So Barry is nervous, and they inform him they're breaking up with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a horrible human being, and bad things should happen to him. And he
Okay.
apologizes and says he only did it because he loved her so much. And then Rachel goes, who are you talking to there, Bear?
Because his eyes are going from one to the other.
I know, he goes back and forth. And he says, after fumbling, like he takes a minute,
Right.
and he goes, Mindy, it was always Mindy. And she implies that after the second time, he couldn't have picked Mindy out of a lineup.
Right.
And Mindy says, you did it twice? And Rachel says, well, it's Barry. The first time doesn't count. Zing!
Oh.
So Barry begs Mindy to give him a second chance and offers to go back to Aruba.
Right. He
And then
loves Aruba.
He does. And the intercom interrupts and says Jason is choking on his retainer. And Rachel says she feels really good and tells Mindy to jump in whenever. But Mindy says, I'm still going to marry him. Because at the end of the day, she really wants to be Mrs. Dr. Barry Farber, DDS.
Right. So, I mean, clearly Barry made the right choice between
Yeah.
the two.
Yeah.
I mean, Rachel already left him at the altar once.
Yeah.
Although I think it would have been pretty funny if every season began with Rachel showing back up in a wedding dress, having left Barry at the altar. All 10 seasons.
Oh my God.
Just leaving him once right after another. I think that could have been funny.
That would have been. But why does she still agree to be the maid of honor?
I don't know. You think after this conversation,
Yeah.
she would have been like, you know what? It's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, maybe you should pick the girl that doesn't have the pretty face. But Rachel says, okay, whatever, but I hope Barry doesn't kill you and eat you in Aruba.
Yes. And did he? Do we know?
No, they got divorced, so he probably
Okay.
didn't eat her.
So then we're back at Monica and Rachel's. And Rachel's having wine. And Monica is asking if she's okay. And they are sitting very close to each other. Mm-hmm. And she is okay. And now she knows that she made the right choice, ditching the scumbag at their wedding. And they hug. And Joey sees them hug too. And he goes, big day.
That That Joey. And then we come to the tag. They're at the Central Perk, all 6 friends.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the opening argument surrounding snack mascots.
Yeah.
And then Danielle walks in, played by Lynn Clark, who was actually on the soap opera Days of Our Lives.
Oh.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny.
And walks in, and Chandler introduces her.
And Danielle's a cutie.
She is cutie, yeah. She says she came down here because she wasn't able to get a hold of him because the number she had was wrong, and she was worried. So when she got the right number, he didn't answer, so she came down. And they agree to meet up later and call each other. But when she leaves, Chandler says, I don't know, she's nice, but she came all the way down here to see if I was okay? How needy is that? And they all hit him and shake their heads.
And she knew it wasn't good when he wasn't like, oh, let me buy you a coffee.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hang out. Stay with my friends. But that is the end of the episode.
That is the end. Cut and print.
Cut and print. All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back. I think Barry is seeing someone in the city.
Oh, what? What would make you think that?
Well, ever since we announced the engagement, he's been acting really weird. And then last night, he came home smelling like Chanel.
Really? Mindy, if it'll make you feel any better, when Bear and I first got engaged, he went through a whole weird thing, too.
Oh, God. See, that's what I was afraid of.
What's what you were afraid of?
Okay. When Barry was engaged to you, he and I kind of had a little thing on the side.
Whoa, what?
I know. And when he proposed to me, everyone said, don't do it. He's just going to do to you what he did to Rachel. And now I feel so stupid.
Oh, Mindy, you are stupid. Oh, we are both so stupid.
What do you mean?
Smell familiar? We are back for the wrap up.
All right. What did we learn in this episode? I learned that Barry must have a timeshare in Aruba.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pickup.
That Rachel appreciated the little sink next to her after having sex with Barry. And Mindy cared more about changing her name than actually being married to Barry.
Mindy could have just went to dental school herself, I guess.
What did you learn, Adam?
I learned that people don't care if they're being watched if the person watching them likes what they see.
If they compliment you, sure.
Rachel's views on cheating later seems to hold a little bit of a blind spot.
Oh, yes, indeedy.
And it's probably a good thing that Mindy learns to accept Barry's cheating early on.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's going to get any better.
So what are your final thoughts?
So Barry and sort of Mindy show back up at the end of season 2 for their wedding.
Right.
And I would have liked the occasional news update on them.
Yeah.
I see them as the kind of couple who would have had like 3 quick kids, boom, 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 and then get a divorce. Okay. You know, like, but I think it would have been fun to hear about them like every year.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Like something weird's going on.
Right.
Yeah. All I have for my final thought is I bet that Chandler never saw Danielle again, and I think that seems ridiculous.
Well, I mean, yeah, Chandler has lots of issues, so
yeah.
Come on.
All right. So our sweater vest tracker?
We have 1.
Yay! So we're up to 18. We're on episode 20. So we're only 2 behind. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Like I said, my hope is for 20 by the end of this season.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can make that or not.
Okay. So next week's episode is...
The one with the fake Monica. Manana befriends Claudia Scheer and Harry Shearer. That's right, we have a Sheer and a Shearer. The latter tries to pit Marcel against the Tiger. And then Joseph Stalin makes a special appearance.
What a week.
What a week.
Yeah, we got sick, so...
Are you ready for maladjusted content?
Oh, yes, maladjusted content. Sorry, I always forget the headline. All right, so this week, other than getting sick, what did we do?
What did we do?
Yeah.
I watched The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That was good. I really like Nick Offerman kind of steals this whole episode.
Oh, for sure. He won an Emmy for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I rewatched it. I didn't get through the whole series the first time I watched it. Because I was...
Is there only one season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they just had one, and then, the actor strike and everything. So.
Oh, yeah. And we started watching Moonlighting. Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Were you going to say more about Last of Us?
No, just that I originally watched it because I like Nick Offerman so much.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Pedro Pascal.
Oh, yeah. Pedro Pascal's
as well.
Good.
He's really good, and the series was good. But that third episode really stands out.
It's a really, really good episode.
And the guy, I can't remember his name from White Lotus, is in there too. Oh. But that's a really good episode. And then we started watching Moonlighting.
Yes. One of Adam's favorite shows growing up.
Yes. I was a big Bruce Willis fan.
Still am.
Yeah, it started with Moonlighting because we used to watch that at my grandmother and granny's house on my parents would have grocery night. And they would drop me and my sister off. And we'd watch,
Moonlighting.
We'd have dinner there. And I realize now that my parents were doing like a whole date night kind of thing.
They said they were going to get groceries, but they went out, had a couple drinks, had dinner,
because
and then
we'd be there for like 2.5 hours every Thursday. And I never thought anything of it until when I was older and started grocery shopping and be like, this only takes like a half hour.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I would watch it with my grandparents, and I just loved, like every now and then we talk about which characters we are.
Yeah.
On Friends. What character would you say you are?
I don't know.
Right. You're like, you always...
I want to be Chandler, but I don't know I'm that funny. I'm definitely not Ross, and I'm definitely not Rachel.
Yeah. But like everybody's like says they're a hybrid.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always kind of lean Phoebe, but Phoebe has a couple, hippy dippy things that are just not me in any way whatsoever.
Right.
But like when we start watching Moonlighting, I'm David Addison.
Yes. 110%.
Through and through.
And I would be Sybil Shepherd at the time because sometimes David Addison can be annoying.
Right.
But I'm not that rich and snooty. And oh my God, most of the time while we're watching Moonlighting, we're making fun of the 80s clothes and hairstyles.
We would be hard pressed to get a best outfit out of an episode of Moonlighting.
Oh my God.
They wear such horrible clothes.
Horrible. David Addison or Bruce Willis's shoes are like these thatched moccasin types. Oh my God, they're
like
terrible.
Woven. It's
yes,
funny.
That's it, woven.
Oh man.
And then we always make fun because Sybil Shepherd has this like gloss, like this haze around her, and then it cuts to David. It's completely flat, and then it goes back to her, and it's this hazy,
twinkly. She's out of focus a little bit.
Oh my God. And we looked her up and she was only 35.
No, and she looks fine.
She does.
It's not every scene of the show she's like that.
Right,
It's not like the old, like Joan Collins or somebody where they would slap Vaseline all over the lens. I think it was just, like I said, we kind of talked about it. I think it was just at the time, like Dallas and Falcon Crest and all those shows probably just did that when the women were on, and I think it takes them a little while to get out of it.
So we mentioned 2 movies while we were talking about this episode. I talked about Knives Out, which I absolutely love. I love everyone in it. I love the movie. I could watch it all the time. It's so funny. So if you haven't seen it, I love Craig. What's his name? Daniel Craig.
Craig Daniels.
Craig Daniels. Being funny. I think he is so funny. I mean, he plays Bond so serious, you know. And then to see him in Knives Out and to see him in what's the other one I love?
Logan Lucky.
Logan Lucky. He's just a funny comedic actor, and I just love it. And
I said no peeking.
If you haven't seen Logan Lucky, you have to see that too. And then we mentioned Rear Window, which is another one of my absolute favorite movies. I could watch that all the time, anytime. You love Grace Kelly.
Oh, yeah.
Big Grace Kelly fan. I just love the movie. And I think they're very similar. I like those mysteries that, like, they're not detectives, but they're trying to solve the mystery. And it's really good. So,
Yes, both of those are very good.
Yep.
Rear Window is where we got our name.
yeah. Maladjusted Misfits.
That came from Stella in that.
So if you haven't seen it, watch it. And you'll hear our podcast name. So, anything else going on this week?
I don't think so. I
No.
mean, it's like
really
I said,
cold.
It's really cold today.
Yeah.
It's been like 4 degrees outside.
Yeah, and with the wind chill, it's like -14. So we're not going outside.
Yeah. Dogs aren't getting walked.
No, the poor dogs.
They're staying inside, keeping warm.
Yep.
Marin keeps kind of going, it's nobody gonna walk me. She's the only big one. She's the only
Yeah.
big dog that
So we
needs
have
to be
two
walked.
little dogs who, could be walked, but since they get out and run around in the yard,
Yeah.
it's kind of like that's enough exercise. Too much exercise would put them under. So.
Yeah.
And they take off like rabbits when we open the door. They're like, boom.
Well, it's because we have rabbits in the backyard
That's true.
that they
That's
chase
true.
half the time. And that's true. We do have rabbits that they chase.
Yes, they do chase the rabbits. So, all right. Well, thanks for listening this week. And
Thanks for listening.
if you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, or if you just want to reach out and say hey,
Yeah, we'd like to have a little section where we're reading
Yeah.
what people think about the new episodes as we're doing them. But
and you wouldn't have to hear us talk about the dogs going outside.
yeah,
So email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
and if you have a negative comment, try to leave it in a positive way.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Which one of us are you talking to there, Bear?